Alright guys, here we go. We have a 1v1 here on Derelict Watcher. It will be a ZVZ spawning in the bottom left corner as the blue Zerg. It is my good buddy Shad. And at the top right corner, spawning as the red Zerg, it will be Seadern. Now this here is a very basic build. We'll speed it up just a slight bit. Both overlords will head out as just basic. Keep going with the drones there. Not a big deal. We do have... Neither player is going for a 10 pool or something cheesy like that. They both are going for the overlord after the ninth drone. That way they can get the 10th drone right as soon as the overlord spawns. We do see that Shad does go for gas first here. He does throw down the gas first, as we do see Seadern here going for the hatch first. So a more defensive and late game macro style here by Seadern, as he does go for the hatch first, while Shad here does go for the pool first. So more aggressive earlier game style here. He does throw down the 3 drones there. So each player very similar on the production tab here. Just one has a hatchery, one has a spawning pool. Speed it up just a slight bit, just a lull period here. As we do see, the drone will be going out to scout here to see what exactly Shad has. I believe he will get here right about the time when the spawning pool does finish. It will finish just slightly earlier, and Shad will come up with the overlord here to give him that extra supply. And I believe, yep, all 3 of those should be turned into Zerglings as they are. The spawning pool is on its way up here. Just finished for Seadern here, as Seadern will be throwing up 2 queens and 4 Zerglings. Shad does indeed have the 6 Zerglings out now and is working on the Zergling speed, which shouldn't take too long. It should finish just slightly after he's reached the other side of the map here, as Shad does have that expansion going down now, and will be slightly behind in economy for this early game, but he's hoping to get some good harassment. And look at those Zerglings. Those are just some weird looking Zerglings right there, man. But he is going to be hoping with this harassment here to be doing some great damage, as he won't really get anything going here, as there will be enough Zerglings by Seadern to get rid of that, and that just won't be a problem. We do see more Zerglings on their way coming in, as the Overlord is going to die. Poor Overlord, just not going to be able to survive past this Queen, but he will see that there is no Baneling Nest going up, and that no one is mining from the gas, as there is more fighting going on here at Seadern's side of the map, but not going to be a big deal here, as we do have another Overlord going up for Seadern, because he is supply capped here. And if we look here at Shad's supply, he does have a great supply advantage over Seadern right now. He has 44 max supply to 28, but Seadern has thrown down 2 spine crawlers here to prevent any more Zergling attacks. There won't be a Zergling run by or anything like that, but these Zerglings do, indeed, just sneak right by those spine crawlers and that queen, and they will start doing plenty of damage to these drones here, doing a good bit of damage here. It will do some damage to this Evo chamber as well, but it will eventually not be enough, and it will die. But we will see here that these Zerglings do come back in, another branch of them. They do kill off this queen here. So, a bit interesting. If we look here, we do have only 3 workers killed, but a great advantage in units killed on Seadern's side, because he is taking care of that thing, of his opponent's units that keep attacking. But because Shad has chose good fights to take place in, and he has gotten rid of good opponents, he is ahead in the resources lost. So he isn't behind in that category. He won't have to worry about that. He does have a defensive spine crawler going up here. Keep them together. He does have the Baneling Nest going up, as Seadern does already have the Baneling Nest going up, which I believe Shad did spot. Yes, he did. He did see that Baneling Nest going up there, as both of these spine crawlers will be ready to go. He will pull one of the spine crawlers back to play more of a defensive role towards his main, to keep any Zergling run bys from coming back again. The Overlord will be there to spot all these units. He does indeed see these Banelings waiting here and all those Zerglings, so he will know that they're on their way here. And he will obviously see them all coming down the way here. As he is starting to mass Zerglings of his own, he will morph some of these Zerglings into Banelings to defend himself, because he does know that that is a decent number of Banelings there, and the Zerglings that he had will just get torn up by those Banelings there. He does throw down this Roach Warren here to transition into Roaches here to take care of this opponent. He does pull back all the drones from his natural to keep them from getting any injuries and continue mining up here. And here he goes. He has these Banelings here. He does force Seadern to pull back, but only to pull back. Oh, and a Baneling shot there that was a bit wasted, I think. But, oh, a great comeback there for Seadern. He does get rid of almost every one of those. He does get rid of every Baneling of Shad's there, and keeps one of his Banelings still alive. This Spine Crawler will go down. Will not be enough, as these last few Zerglings will fly up into the main. They will spot this Roach Warren now, but they will start fighting with this Queen here. The Queen will not make it, but he does have the Zerglings enough to fight off his opponent's Zerglings. And, yep, that will end there, and he does have the Roaches up now. He does have some Roaches coming, more Roaches and more Overlords coming, but Seadern does have this army here. He has Banelings with it. It will be in trouble. It will do some decent damage to these units of Shad's here, if he can land some good shots here. Shad does indeed have the Spire going up now, which is a good transition. He sees that his opponent is only going Lings, but he needs to find out whether his opponent is throwing down a Spire or not, because he will be just now, transitioning into Layer Tech, which he is a bit behind in that sense. He did throw up the hatch first, so he should have gone with Upgrades Advantage. But instead, he's been trying to transition and do an attack here. Those Banelings will do absolutely nothing to those Roaches, as the Roaches will be enough. Shad's Banelings will do decent damage to those Zerglings. And look at those Roaches. That's 8 Roaches coming down on the field now for Shad, moving in to take on his opponent. But his opponent does have a lot of Zerglings here, and he will have another Spine Crawler going up to defend. The Spine Crawler will pull forward to a better position where he can hit opponents underneath of the ramp. He does have these Zerglings as forward scouts here, and Seadern does have an idea of what's going on here, but he doesn't see the Spire yet. He doesn't know about the Spire. Oh, yes, he does. He knows that the Spire is going up, but he does not quite know that it's finished, when it's going to be done, or anything like that. As I do not know, he does now have his Spire going up here. Seadern does indeed have the Spire going up, but that is a lot of Zerglings, and they will just be too much for those Roaches to handle. But the reinforcements have arrived, and these reinforcements will clean up these Zerglings very nicely. As an attack there by Seadern will just be wasted. He does start morphing more Zerglings, and that could really be a difference in the game here. As Shad does indeed start pumping out, he does have 6 Mutas on the way. So if he can do very well with those Mutas and do some type of harassment, because Seadern does indeed have the Spire coming up. So if he cannot beat him and crush his economy, Seadern will have that ability to pull up the better units. He will have more of those units because his economy is slightly better. He does think this nice surround around these Roaches here, and he will kill off every one of those Roaches. But those Roaches will do a decent number of damage, and the Mutas are seen now. The Mutas will just start going house on these Roaches here, on these Zerglings. These Zerglings will ignore it all, and they're gonna go for an attack on the base. They fly right into the mineral line. They take care of this Queen easily, and they're taking care of some of these drones here. They do get a surround on the drones. Every one of those drones is going to die, but these Mutalisks, they're just too much for Seadern to handle for now. But he does have Mutalisks of his own on the way up. I do not believe that either one of the players, neither one of the players, let's see here, upgrades. Yeah, the only upgrades that each player has is that Zergling speed. So very, very low tech game here for upgrades wise, but that's a lot of mutas right there. That is a lot of Mutalisk. That is 9 Mutalisk to the 5 of Seadern. And with that number of Mutalisk, that could really be a difference in the game here. Just having that many Mutalisk could really be the difference in the game here. He does move in. He is now seeing that Spore Crawler. That Spore Crawler is going to go down. It is not going to spawn, but there's a lot of Spore Crawlers morphing here in the base. He is going to get all these mutas are going to fall for Seadern. A huge loss here. As that one is transfused, but it's not going to be. It's going to be too late, as they are going to get all these Zerglings, and they are going to kill off that queen there. Those spores will prevent them from moving any farther, as he will get in just barely in range, and he will just now try and supply cap him here by taking care of all these overlords, keeping them. He does indeed supply cap Seadern here, but he does need to pull back all those mutas. He doesn't have enough reinforcing mutas to save him right now. He does need more of those Mutalisks now if he's going to do anything. He is down 2 Mutalisks now, and he really needs to pull that together. He does have his third going up now, so he has started 1 hatch behind in the beginning of the game, but he has turned it all around to become ahead in economy here. If we check out economy here, he's slightly behind in minerals, but he's ahead in gas, and they're nearly even with harvesters. And with this new hatchery going up, he's going to have more larvae to be able to supply himself with, and that means more Mutalisks, and just the ability to pull out more units. They have evened out nearly with minerals here now, so it's beginning to become more equal in this game here, as he does have 13 Mutalisks here, a good number of Mutalisks, and a good number of ground forces here. I believe those ground forces with the Mutalisks will be able to take care of Seadern's forces, but Seadern is going to get the jump on him. Oh, the fight is going to happen here. Seadern is going to pull him back, but that's just what Shad wants. He's going to pull him back right into his Mutalisks. His Mutalisks are going to clean up every one of these Mutalisks here by Seadern. Seadern's Mutalisks are not going to be a problem. He's going to now push out with these Zerglings, and they are going to go right into the main base here. He's going to go for the attack. He is going to pull the mutas around. I believe he is going to try and scout to see if there's a third, but there is no third there. And Shad's just like, there's no third. He hasn't taken a third yet. He was ahead in economy first against me, but he still hasn't taken a third. He is going to kill off every one of these spine crawlers here, and that's just going to be the end of it. He is going to pull in these mutas, and these mutas are going to go right here for the main base now. He only has 1 spore crawler here in the main, and that's not going to be enough. He is going to completely kill off all those forces there, force the mutas to come in and fight with Shad's forces here. As the upgrades, he only has the +1 attack. Not going to be a big deal. Shad is going to have reinforcing mutas coming in, but his mutas are just too much for Seadern to handle, and I believe that will be a GG here. Yep, there we go. The GG will be thrown down, and that will be it. We do have a lot more reinforcements coming in for Shad. And a very good seesaw game here. It was Shad pushing, and then Seadern being able to push him back and keep him in his natural. But at the end, it was very simply Shad was able to take that third earlier and be able to get that spawning pool up. And if we look at the supply here, the supply is huge. Huge difference in supply here. Shad has an enormous advantage in supply here, and that means that Shad can produce more drones and produce more units than Seadern can handle. So it's just going to end to that. Seadern does not have enough supply to keep up with Shad at this point. Shad had the Spire up first, and Seadern didn't scout enough. Seadern didn't know that Roach Worm was up right away until he attacked. Seadern didn't know that Baneling Nest was up really at all. He didn't know it was up until the end, and he barely saw that Spire was up. So, a very good fought game by both players. Very good seesaw game, like I said. But it came down to scouting and the speed of the Spire at the end. So, I hope you guys like this match. Stay tuned for more. There will be definitely more coming. I'm been War Battle. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks.